looking back a few days now, Josh Warrington's win over Lee Selby. You called it right from the off, didn't you?
Sometimes I like to blow my own trumpet, and I will blow it about that. I really did fancy him all the way through. When we made the fight, you know, the way we went about putting the promotion together, where the fight took place. It's important that it went on in his hometown. It's important that we got it on at Ellen Road. It's important we built this big atmosphere up. Of course, Lee went into a hostile environment, and a lot of people saying that would intimidate him. I never thought that for a minute, because he's quite a cool character, Lee Selby. You know, and he's used to being on the road. He's fought all over the place. He's not, you know, he's not like he's a big hometown fighter. But I knew that getting in front of those 25,000 fans at Leeds, I knew that would lift Josh even more. And having watched Lee's last fight and watching Josh's fight before he fought Lee Selby, I just felt that was his moment. He put on a great performance at Leeds Arena. It was a really good performance that Josh put on, and I felt that was the right timing now to make the fight. You know, I could have given him a couple more fights, but that was the time. We remember, we made that fight happen. They didn't want it. We made it. We got Josh into the mandatory position. I laid my dough out, or we laid our money out as a company to get Josh in the position where Selby had to fight him. And that's what we did. We made it happen. And I wouldn't have made it happen if I didn't think my man could have won the fight. And not only did he win it, he won it in style. You know, a couple of journalists talked about, you know, cheerlead, you know, that he scored it by one round, Josh winning, and we were and the cheerleaders would say different. I'm not a cheerleader. I've got two eyes. I've been in this sport for a long time. Go and watch the fight back. He won that by, you know, conservatively by 4 rounds. I think it was more than that. He won that fight. He beat Lee in every department. He stood with him. He traded with him. He outfought him. You know, there was cuts and a lot of blood on, as we all know, but in every department. And he boxed him done his work and away. Reading some of the previews, like Boxing News preview, it was like it was going to be a walkover. Look, these are the two styles. Josh Warrington is going to basically bring out the best of Lee Selby, and Lee Selby is going to box his head off and stop him. That was all win on points. That was the way they read that fight. For me, that was never in the game. I always thought it was going to be the other way around. You're underestimating Josh Warrington. Josh Warrington's got a good whiskers. He can fight. He can box. And you know what he's got? A great engine and a ticker.
How big can the Ellen Road thing, should we call it, become?
I think he could outgrow that in fights, but you know, that's his hometown. He's the first world champion from Leeds, so he's created a bit of history. It was the first boxing event at Leeds. They're fantastic people to work with, and we want to do more there. The problem we got, because it's the football season, because of winter, that's our problem. So we're restricted to Leeds Arena for some of the fights, and obviously, you know, Josh is going to be looking for the bigger fights, and obviously the bigger paydays that come with it. So we'll do what we got to do. But he's got a loyal following, and as he said, give the guys an away day if we need it. I want him out again in September. I've not discussed it yet, but I'd like to see him out again in September, and I want to see him in there defending his title, having a defence, and then Carl having a defence, and I'd like to see them two guys get it on sooner rather than later.
Before next summer then?
Yeah, that's what I would like. But I've not had a conversation with them both yet. I'm telling you what I would like. So you don't always get what you want, but that's what the fans would like, and I'm sure at the end of the day that's what the guys want. It's a big money fight for both of them, and I think that type of event could become one of those sort of trilogies, you know, because if you look at them, there's a great case for both of them, the way they fight. They're both super guys to work with. They're both very good boxers, and who knows? You know, it's one of them. I can fancy him, but I fancy him as well. That's one where at the moment you're sitting on a fence, you build it, but that could be 2 or 3 fights in that. That's the type of fight that would be. And if it's going to be like that, you know it's going to be a great fight. You know, when they say styles make fights, I said the last one had fight written all over it. This one coming up, when eventually they fight, it's got fight written all over it. It's a great fight.